So, very good afternoon to all of you. I am Ashmita Das, a PMRF scholar from IIT Guwahati. Today, I am going to conduct a doubt clearing session on sampling, a problem solving session on sampling distribution and central limit theorem. This problem solving session comes under the course BT44 Introduction to Biostatistics. Now, moving to the first question, what happens to the variance of a sample if the sample sizes decreases? So in this case, if the sample sizes decreases, the number of variation will be more as per the theory. So based on this, it's true that if the sample sizes decreases, the sample variance increases. If we suppose there are 50 points, so for that 50 points, the variation might becomes as 0.2. But if the points is decreases to 10, then the variation will be points is comparatively more. And from there, mathematically, it's solved that the sigma is inversely proportional to the sample size. Now moving to the next question. What is the minimum sample size for applying central limit theorem for symmetrically and non-symmetrically distributed random variables respectively? There are four options. First one is 10 on 10 and 30. Second one is 2 and 30. Third one is 30 and 2. And fourth one is 30 and 10. So the correct answer of this question is 2 and 30. For symmetrically, the central limit theorem can be applied for 2 samples minimum, and for non-symmetrical distributed, you can minimum apply for 30 samples. Now moving to the next question. Now, which of the following sampling methods are the n individuals subdivided into different separate subpopulation with the common characteristics? So there are four options. First one is A, B, C, and D. The first one is the random sample, cluster sample, stratified sample, systemic sample. So what happened in the first sampling method? What is sampling? Sampling basically we have done to get an idea about a population by considering a very by taking considering a small group of individuals. So for sampling, there are four methods. First one is the random sampling. In the case of random sampling, what happened? We select the individuals randomly from a population. Now that we should not follow any proper system, just randomly we select. The next one is the cluster sampling. In the cluster sampling, what happened? We create different clusters, and in a particular cluster there is a heterogeneity of the people. The third one is the stratified sampling. In the case of stratified sampling, again we divided the people into different subpopulation, but in this case we follow a common characteristics. And the fourth one is the systemic sampling. The systemic sampling we just select a person based on a certain systems. So in this case, the correct and so get a more the definite definition about stratified sampling. It is a method of sample that is involves the division of a population into smaller subgroups based on a common characteristics, and these subgroups are known as strata. So in this case, the correct answer is option C. Now moving to the fourth question, that is if the population variance comes as sigma square equals to 25, then the sample variance A square for n equals to 25 is, there are four options. The first one is 25, second one is 1, third one is 5, and fourth one is 0. If we look into the data, it is we have to, for solving this question, we are mostly focused on the theoretical part. That is, if we find out the expectation value for the S square or the population, then it comes as n equals to n minus 1 sigma square plus sigma square sigma square plus mu square minus 1 by n sigma square minus mu square. So by narrowing down, the final value is come as sigma square. So if we calculate the sample variance for using the formula n minus 1, then the population variance is equal to the sample variance. So for this particular case, the as we get that the population variance is sigma square equals to 25. So the sample variance is also become 25. Now moving to the next question. That is question number 6. If the standard deviation of the population is 60 and the sample size is 25, then what is the standard deviation of the sample? There are four options, that is 60, 2.4, 12 and 30. So the correct answer for this, we use the formula, that is the formula of the standard error or the standard deviation of the sample, that is sigma divided by root n. So standard sigma represents the standard deviation of the population. So here the standard deviation of the population is comes as 60 and the sample size is comes as the n is represented by the sample size. So here the sample size is comes as 25. So 60 divided by root over of 25, and the root over the 25 is basically comes as value of 5. So 60 divided by 5. So the correct answer is comes as 12. So here the option C is the correct answer. Now moving to the question number 7. A test is conducted for age 0, that is mu equals to 20, sigma equals to 4. A sample of size 36 has x bar equals to 21.4. What is the test statistics? So the z bar is equal to mu minus x bar divided by sigma by root n. So 20 minus here the mu, which is represented by the population mean, that is comes as 20. Sample mean, this comes as 21.4 divided by sigma, standard deviation of the population is comes as 4, and sample size is comes as 36. The n that is represented by the sample size is comes as 36. So 20 minus 21.4 divided by 4 divided by root over of 36. So by calculating this, we can get a value of 2.1. So the correct answer of this question is B, 2.1. Now moving to the next question. A test statistics is conducted for age 0, that is mu equals 34 and sigma equals to 5. Sample size 100 is selected. Standard error of the sampling distributed. The standard error of the sampling distribution can be easily calculated by sigma divided by root n. So the sigma is comes as uh, 5 and the root n, the n, n is basically mentioning the sample size, that is 100. So 5 divided by root over of 100. So 5 divided by 10, which is comes as 0.5. Now moving to the question number 9. What must be the size of the sample population in order to get a 95% confidence interval of 0.5 and the sigma square equals to 25? So from we have to calculate n equals to z square into p into 1 minus p divided by e square. So the value is comes as 385. So here is we are ending our today's session. So here we are ending our today's session. Thank you all for attending this session and in the problem solving session of the week 6, that is basically the central limit theorem and the sampling distribution. Thank you.